Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good day. I suppose I am doing good. As long as I'm not 10 feet under, I suppose that I will continue to be okay. Hey, it's not a bad thing. It means I'm, not 10 feet under. I don't see what's so bad about that. Hope you guys are having a good day. Everything's going fine with all of you. I am doing good. First week of school was last week, and now I'm in the second. And at this point, I'm just I'm counting down the days till I can get another break or something. Cause, oh boy, I hate being on break. I miss being on break. I know there's that thing where people say, "Oh, but you get bored on break. You don't do anything." God damn it! I've learned to enjoy just doing nothing. Oh well, oh well, oh well. I suppose I'll just wait until my next vacation. Okay, well, today is in fact a Monday. I apologize for not being here last Saturday. I kind of got dragged along to go to a party, someone's birthday party. It was okay. I didn't talk to anyone else other than my old man, and we just cracked jokes at each other. And well, the food was good. Yeah, that was about it. Got dragged along, and yeah, it wasn't all that much fun. The food was the big part, but well, what are you gonna do about it, huh? Oh well. Okay, well, either way, let's get on with today being Monday and all. Hopefully throughout the week we can do some more Far Cry 5 with my boy Jay Woo. And yeah, I still have my project in the works. So hopefully everything kind of comes together soon because I want to. Because I think right now I'm still going through the opening steps, not quite at the finish line. Hopefully, like I said, it can be finished before the start of next year. So I'd have to find someone to end up finishing the leg of the project because I don't know, it just takes a huge time investment and I just don't exactly have that at the moment. So, well, at least I mean like a full day because I kind of, I got school and then I do this, and then at night I do whatever's left. So whatever, whatever, whatever. Yeah, I'm sure you understand. Well, that's probably enough rambling out of me. Yada yada yada. I swear to God, if you put me in front of the devil, I could probably talk his head off. Oh man, I could go on forever and ever and ever, but I won't. So let's get down to the meat and bones of today. Some more Breach Archangel job, baby. Yee. Okay. Testing, testing. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. I love you guys. Okay. Safe house, 2 a.m. When you arrive back at the apartment, it's 2 in the morning. Decide to catch some much needed sleep. The next morning, you wake up at about 10 o'clock. Take a bath, get yourself ready, and check the time. It's currently 10:31 a.m. What would you like to do? Obviously, visit Gregory's shop. Walk into Greg's office beneath the church, and you see Greg standing behind the counter, as usual. He's talking to someone on the phone, and he looks frustrated. No, I'm telling you, the outfit doesn't want to back down, but it's gonna fall sooner or later. He puts his hands up to you and mouths, 1 second. He pauses and you can hear someone arguing loudly on the other side of the conversation. Listen, listen. I can't do any... No, I know. That's... Stop talking for 1 sec. You know what? Never mind. Have a good day. He hangs up and searches for someone in the shop. Tracy! Tracy walks over, shotgun in hand. Yes, Father Murdoch? Tracy, be a good girl and have someone kill Ivan tomorrow. I've had enough of his shit. Yes, Father Murdoch. Thank you, he sighs in frustration. Now, what can I get you? Well, let's get a refill. Oh, never mind, we don't need a refill of ammunition. Greg's Glorious Goods. So, you like to buy some glorious goods. Well then, come with me. Greg leads you through the workshop to the back room. The two of you stop in front of a huge metal vault door with a golden sign above it that says GGG. He unlocks the vault and pulls it open, revealing a room full of shelves, boxes, and a garage door. Most of the stuff here is from my time in the GTF2 Special Forces, but some is also from my time as a professional criminal. See anything you like? See, we got about $200,000 to blow. Okay, to the garage. Greg walks you over to the garage door. He slaps the button and the door slowly rattles and rises, revealing the parking garage hidden behind it. Chicago PD Police Cruiser, 54,500. Fort Crown Victor 2010 Police Cruiser, supercharged. Speed, 5. Can be used to elude the cops. Ever wanted to play cops and robbers as a robber in a cop car? And then the Tier 2 version, which we cannot afford. Chicago PD, if only we hadn't bought that big heavy armor that saved us like one time so far. Chicago PD Armored SWAT Van, $450,620. Lenco Bear LE for 2010 Armored SWAT Van. Speed for interior and exterior armor plating. Can be used to elude the cops, because if the cops ever figure out you're not one of them, at least you'll be safe inside. Well, shiza, we can't afford the expensive one, so we can at least go with the police cruiser. Okay, awesome possum. Does he have anything miscellaneous? Coin of Lady Luck and manacles? Monocles? Manacles. The things that people get locked up in. It's like handcuffs. I think we got the... Okay, yeah. Yeah, Juggernaut suit is 120,000, so I think we could have if we had also taken a little bit of others. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. Alright, looking over at the weapons, a gold-plated AK-47. A gold-plated baseball bat that cost $9 million, $9.5 million, and can supposedly turn anyone to dust upon contact. I'm not. And then also a minigun, a handheld chainsaw, and a modified toy pistol into a actual. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm saving my money for some actual practical weapons that you unlock later. Oh god, I hope the next game comes out soon. Okay, I'm just gonna go into equipment, buy some more medic packs. Apparently no more zip ties. Buy some C4. Okay, and we are finished. It's currently 4:45 p.m. What would you like to do? Train the skills. What do we increase anyway? Yada yada yada. How about we go to the library and just focus on intelligence? Okay. You grab a couple books from the shelf, one fiction and one nonfiction, and begin reading inside the library. Spend a bit more time than you wanted, and you'll have to continue some other time. But at least you gained some knowledge. You finish up and check the time. The day's about to end, but just as you're about to put on your pajamas, your phone rings. Ring, ring. Pull out your phone and check the number. It's Gabriel. You pick up the call. Hello? You hear the familiar voice of Gabriel over the phone. Kids, Gabriel. Lincoln Park, North Side. Uniformed, now. Come alone. He hangs up. You pocket your phone, grab your suit and blue tie, and rush over to Lincoln Park in your SUV. Blue Star meow. Oh yeah, I forgot we named it that. Blue Star meows for you as you're about to leave. You give her a calming stroke before walking out. Lincoln Park, somewhere around midnight. It's not that long of a drive, and when you arrive, you spot a tactical sports motorcycle parked not too far from where you're supposed to go. You hop out of the SUV and walk over to the north side of the park. In the distance, you spot what appears to be Gabriel, along with Rook, Bishop, Raquel, and Michael, standing behind what appears to be a taco van. Ah, there he is, Gabriel says as you walk up. Michael looks to you and says, Glad you could join us. Hey, kids, remember when we tried to kill both of you? Well, we have a little I'm sorry present, Brooke says, banging on the back door of the van. Raquel opens the back door in the van, and Michael walks over and pulls a familiar woman in a suit, tie, and FBI vest from the back of the van. She's blindfolded and is wearing what appears to be noise-canceling headphones. Gabriel sits her down, and you hear muffled grunting for help as Gabriel whispers to her. Hey, it's going to be all okay. We won't hurt you unless you do something stupid. You understand? Michael looks to you and says, Brooke found her sticking your safe house from afar with binoculars. Sounds like Anthony wants to keep a close eye on you. Gabriel takes off her headphones and blindfold. I never took Anthony to be the stalker type, he says. She's been following you for quite some time, Rook says. As soon as Gabriel takes the gag out of her mouth, she coughs and spits on the ground, saying, Screw you! We haven't even asked you anything yet, Gabriel says, going through the pockets of her suit and FBI vest. He pulls out an FBI badge and reads it. Megan House, eh? I've heard of you. Anthony's assistant, right? I'm not his assistant. He's my supervisor, House says. What's the difference? Michael shrugs. House looks over to you, then squints in disgust. She doesn't seem to like you very much. Michael looks at you and says, Why don't you ask our friend here a few questions? You'll look over at House, who's still giving you a look of hatred and disgust. Walk over and stand in front of her, putting my arms around her shoulders. You walk over and stand in front of her, putting your arms around her shoulders. You stare at her, trying your best to show mercy and empathy. She stares back at you, confused. What? What's he doing? She asks. Don't ask. It's what he does sometimes. Gabriel shrugs. Okay, awesome possum. She stares back at you, confused and rather taken back by your compassion. She realizes what's going on and looks at Gabriel, who shrugs. She looks back at you and lowers her head in defeat. Gabriel looks to you and says, I am thoroughly impressed. She stares at you, thinking deeply through her limited options. She looks over at Gabriel, who waves at her nonchalantly. She looks back to you with a defeated expression and says, I'll talk. Michael walks up to her, hands folded behind his back. How much do you know about us? Michael asks. House chuckles and says, About the Archangels? Not much, besides your names. Except for you three. She looks to Gabriel, Raquel, and Michael. We don't know shit about you. But you. She gestures to you. We know a thing or two about you. I've been following you for quite some time now. Just don't know where you live yet. She smirks. What do you think Anthony is trying to do? Michael asks. House shrugs and says, I have no idea what that guy has in his mind. He disappears most of the time, saying he's got contacts to meet. Let me rephrase the question. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase the question. What is Anthony planning on doing? Michael asks. House thinks about it for a few seconds before answering. He plans to wait. Until? Michael asks. Until you've all taken down the outfit, and then he'll make a move. House continues. Smart as always. At least he knows we're doing his job better than he is, Gabriel says. By killing people? House asks. Kill a murderer and the number of murderers in the world stays the same, she says. That's why I don't stop at just one, Gabriel replies. You're already imagining him wearing a proud smirk behind that mask as he says it. See? That wasn't so hard, Michael says. However, I think you know more than you're letting on. He comes closer to her. That's all I know, I swear, House says, looking away from him. Look me in the eyes and say that again, Michael says. House reluctantly looks up at Michael and says, I swear that's all I know. She trembles as she says it. No, it's not. Tell me, what else do you know? He aims his revolver at her chest. House stares back at him, mustering all her strength before saying, I'd rather dig my own grave. 3 minutes later, you, Gabriel, Michael, Rook, Bishop, and Raquel find your quite a mouthful. Find yourself standing around the edge of a shallow hole in which House is currently digging her own grave. The shovel she's using reeks with the horrible, pungent smell of feces. You must feel really dumb for saying that a few minutes ago, Rook says with his arms crossed. In the future, you might want to watch what you say, Gabriel adds. How very manly of you, making a lady dig her own grave, House says, sweating as she continues to dig the dirt out from under her. Your gender has nothing to do with this. Your stupidity and ignorance, maybe. Michael gives her a cold shrug. Sure, the House says sarcastically. You must feel really strong right now. I honestly don't care what you've gotten hidden in your pants or what race you were born. I only care about the fact that you're not talking. I could shoot you right here, right now. My bullet wouldn't care, Michael says, pulling out his revolver. The thing with people is that you seem to think that your gender and race determine what social status you have in society. They don't. It's what you do with them that matters. Eh, man in a mask, psychopath in a mask got a point. He points his revolver at her. You must feel really empowered with that gun, House says. Michael flips his revolver, dangling it from his index finger, practically hanging it over her head. There are many ways I can make you talk. I don't really need a gun, Michael says, dangling the revolver closer to her. Go ahead, take it. I dare you. House simply stares at Michael for a few seconds, disgusted what he just said. She looks around, seeing Rook and Bishop ready their hands on their pistols, ready to draw as soon as she does something stupid. She sighs and continues to dig her own grave. Now the only difference we have is that I have a gun and you have a shovel that smells like shit, Michael says. Rook looks over at Gabriel and says, Hey, why do you keep a shovel on your motorcycle? Have it. Never know when you'll need to take a shit in the woods. Gabriel shrugs. House suddenly stops shoveling as she realizes why the shovel smells so horribly familiar. Oh God, House says as her skin turns flushed, almost greenish. House turns to Gabriel and says, The FBI are gonna make you pay. They won't come for you. They never do. If I know anything about the FBI, they value information more than their agents, Gabriel says. No, you're wrong. House shakes her head in disbelief. Am I? How many times have you had to sacrifice an agent to keep a secret? Gabriel asks as he takes a seat by the edge of the shallow grave House has been digging for herself. None. It's not my call to make. Anthony's the one who can make that kind of decision. House says. How many times do you think he's had to choose to sacrifice the life of an FBI agent in order to keep a secret? Mouse asks, cutting in on Gabriel. Whoops. Damn, I gotta read who's saying these lines ahead of time. And how many times do you think he's had to choose to sacrifice the life of an FBI agent in order to keep a secret? Kind of ironic coming from the people who don't divulge. Michael asks, cutting in on Gabriel. A couple of times, House answers reluctantly. Which means they'll sacrifice you too. To keep a secret. To them, you're just a pawn, a tool of information gathering, Michael says, holstering his pistol. And as it turns out, you're not so good at your job. For all you know, your life is worth whatever secrets they have. He continues dropping down into the hole with her. We've seen you taking care of a little girl. She seems to love You seem to love her very much. It would be a shame if she lost her caretaker, Michael says in the coldest, most intimidating way possible, his deep, electronically distorted voice. Hal stares at Michael before looking away, down at the hole she's dug for himself. You can see her emotions breaking down, and she hangs her head in despair. And she sighs and closes her eyes. She seems ready to burst into tears, but she maintains her composure. The outfit. They're planning something big. Their chatter's been way more active lately. She says it in the most regretful voice she can muster. What are they planning? Michael asked. I don't know, she says. House, Michael says, pulling out his revolver. Wait, I swear to God, I don't know. House puts her hands up to him. Are you sure about that? Michael says, pointing the barrel of his revolver directly at her face. Whoa! Gabriel says, his hands instinctively reaching for his own pistol, still in its holster. Michael, what are you doing? House's face freezes in terror as she stares at Michael. She kneels and says, Please believe me, that's all I know. She looks deep in... Sorry. She looks deep into his eyes. Michael continues to hold his aim directly between House's eyes as he says, Then you are of no use to me. Gabriel immediately pulls out his own pistol and holds it between his thigh as he says to Michael, Not here to kill her, Mike. If she dies, the whole FBI will be after us. Please. I have a niece, House says, looking back and forth from Gabriel to Michael. I'm the only thing close to a mother that she has, she says. Michael keeps a firm grip on his revolver, continuing to aim it at House. No loose ends. Right. Michael! Gabriel raises his pistol at him. Gabriel looks around, seeing Rook and Bishop backing off from the confrontation. They don't want anything to do with what's going on. Gabriel finally looks at you expectantly. Perhaps you should do something. Michael, you don't need a killer. You tell him, hoping that your message will get past his cold, emotionless gaze. In the corner of your eye, you see Raquel pulling out her own pistol, a CZ-75, and pointing it at Michael. Listen to kids, Michael. We're criminals, not murderers, Gabriel says, continuing to aim his pistol at Michael. Whew. Put it down, Michael. Remember our deal. We only kill if we have to. Michael sighs and asks, Why won't you let me have fun anymore? Because I'd rather not have to fight the whole FBI before our mission's even completed, Gabriel says. Michael stares at House, pistol in hand, pointed at her. He reads her face for a few seconds before finally lowering his revolver. What's her name? Hannah, she says, sighing in relief, slowly lowering her hands. Tell Hannah that her aunt is grateful to be alive. Take good care of her and treat her right. Remember to have patience, for it was once what determined your life and death on this day, Michael says, holstering his pistol. Hal sighs again, then smiles with relief. I will, she says. Michael groans in annoyance, and he turns around and hops out of her shallow grave. Try not to say something stupid next time, he says, taking the shovel from her hands. Gabriel finally lowers and holsters his pistol. Then he sighs and says, Thank you. Rook looks around confused, then stares at Gabriel and says, Ah, what just happened? Gabriel stares at Michael as he walks past, the two of them engaging in what appears to be a debate by gaze. It's as if they're communicating via staring. You can feel the tension rise between them, before finally Michael scoffs and looks away. Gabriel sighs, pulls out what appears to be a burner cell phone, and tosses it to House, who fumbles to catch it. Call 911 once we leave. You have a good night. Gabriel nods. He looks around at everyone and says, We're done here. Go home, get some rest. You nod and walk away towards the SUV. You look back and see Gabriel and Raquel walking off in a different direction, towards the motorcycle you saw parked not far away. Everyone else leaves into the van, which drives off, leaving House there in her hole. You hear sirens in the distance, so you quicken your pace. You get into your SUV and drive away from Lincoln Park, taking detour after detour to lose any possible tail that you might have. After you're satisfied that you're not being followed, you make your way back to the safe house. Safe house, 9:32 p.m. You arrive back at your safe house and looking around, Mouse isn't in the living room. He seems to have fallen asleep early. Bluestar greets you as you walk inside. You walk over to her and give her a comforting pet as she meows playfully in reply. You decide to call it a night and walk into the bathroom. You take a much needed, refreshing, extremely long bath that pretty much pushes away any worry, thoughts, and relaxes every muscle and bone in your body. Your mind fills with nothing but bliss for the duration of the bath, until you eventually have to dry yourself off and make your way to the bedroom. As you're about to enter your bedroom, you hear a knock on the door. Walk to it, look through the peephole, and see Gabriel standing silently in the hallway in his three-piece suit and blue tie, awaiting your answer as he knocks once more. You open the door and Gabriel pauses for a moment, as if he'd had a speech ready but lost it in the moment the door swung open. You can see nothing behind his mask besides his bright blue eyes staring at you. Good evening, he says. How are you? Fine. How you holding up? You ask. He sighs and scratches his head for a moment before looking to his left down the hall. It's been a rough, sleepless night. But then again, that's what I expected when I took this job. His weary eyes tells you that he's had more than one sleepless night, and that he expects more to come. When was the last time you slept? You ask. I can't remember. I try not to think about it. He shrugs off his weariness. I just came to check if you were okay. Megan knew where you and Mouse were staying, so I thought I'd come and make sure everything was all right. He sighs and puts his hand into his suit pocket. If you hear or see anything, please let us know. The Archangels take care of one another. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. You're welcome, he nods. Keep an eye out. I just came to say that I feel like something's off. Something about what Megan said got me thinking. Just thought you should know. He shrugs. You remember Megan saying something about the outfit waiting to make a move. Not quite sure what she was talking about, but if something's making Gabriel nervous, that would give you problems. Sleeping. But you need to sleep tonight, so you push the thought aside. Gabriel sighs and scratches his head as he looks to the left again. Well, I only came to make sure the perimeter's clear, so I should get back to investigating the outfit, if you don't mind. He looks at you and nods. He looks to his left and nods. You lean into the hallway and see Raquel casually leaning against the wall beside Gabriel, just out of view. Raquel has volunteered to stay in the building in case of an emergency. She walks over to you, staring at you curiously. I'll be leaving now. Good night. Gabriel nods to the two of you as he walks off towards the elevator. Raquel, who is considerably shorter than you, looks up at you through her mask in complete silence. I'm not that tall either, damn. Staring at you expectantly. Quietly invite her inside. You open the door a little bit for Raquel to see, then you gesture for her to come inside. She leans in a bit, then nods and walks inside, quietly looking around the living room. She walks over to the kitchen, opens the fridge, pulls out a carton of milk, and drinks it straight from it. She gulps the entire carton down, then sighs. She looks at you and quietly purrs as she closes the fridge and throws the empty carton into the trash. You never thought a human could purr. Until now. In fact, sometimes you wonder if Raquel's even human. Walks back into the living room, scans the place for a few seconds, then looks back at you expectantly. She stares at you, tilting her head curiously. Walk closer to her, then gesture to the bedroom. Oh, God damn it. Walk closer. God. I don't think this one's as bad as any of the other romance options, which get more explicit. Walk closer to her and gesture towards the bedroom. Then you wink at her suggestively. She stares at you in complete silence, looking up at you through the red tint glasses of her mask. You can tell she's thinking about it. She lifts her mask up, revealing a ski mask behind it. She smiles at you and she leans in and takes your hand, very slowly leading you to the bedroom. Not expecting her to take off her ski mask, but then she does. Her wavy blonde hair pours from under her mask, and she reveals her petite, young, ambiguously feminine face. You hear her purring as she kicks the door behind her open, leading you inside the bedroom. She links you inside and closes the door before locking it. She turns back to you with a smirk and rushes to pounce on you, giggling as she kisses and nibbles. God damn it. Nibbles and bites you all over, slowly lifting her hoodie off, revealing her slender frame and small but her breasts. She smiles at you and holds your hand, then she silently mouths, I love you, as a bright red glow begins to form around her cheeks. She pulls out the blanket and leans on top of your bare chest, nuzzling you as the two of you spend the night in each other's company. That's rough, bud. Your mind slowly spirals into unconsciousness. You've been through a lot these past few days. Wonder if everything will slow down eventually, or probably get even more tense. Try not to think about it as you fall asleep. What does go through your mind as you slowly fall asleep is the fact that tonight has been quite chaotic. So many things happening in so little time. The rush is keeping you from falling asleep, but the exhaustion is weighing you down. You need the rest. You need the company. You need the peace of mind. But hey, who said being a criminal is easy? Chapter 4, Part 1. From All Sides. Archangels, make 'em pray. You're walking around in the woods. There's no one around and your phone's dead. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot him. A man in a mask. A bloody white mask with a broken heart. You don't have a weapon on you and you have nothing to defend yourself with as the mouth of the mask splits open, revealing an inhumanly wide, sharp-toothed grin with blood beginning to drip down from its edges. He's following you about 30 feet back. He gets down on all four and breaks into a sprint, stealthily pouncing through the bushes, appearing and disappearing in mere seconds. He's gaining on you. You're looking for your car, but you're all turned around. You have no idea where you are. He's almost upon you now. You see the blood spattered across his mask. My God, there's blood everywhere. You run for your life as the man in the mask brandishes his blade. He's lurking in the shadows, jumping from one corner of your eye to another in rapid succession. But then your foot catches on something, and you trip what seems like a classic horror movie cliche. Darkness engulfs you, and you seem to have lost him, but you're hopelessly lost yourself. Stranded with the murderer, he creeps silently through the bushes. Aha! In the distance, you see a small cottage with a light on. Hope! You quietly move towards it, but you hear a loud snap, followed by a painful crack as your leg lands right into a bear trap. Try your best not to cry out in pain. Did you realize you didn't just break a bone? It's been amputated. Turn and you see something. Two eerily bright eye sockets within the bloody white mask with a broken heart creeping up on you. And right before it pounces, its inhumanly wide mouth opens, and the sharp carnivorous teeth dig into you. Wake up! Your body jolts awake from the imaginary pain. You're alone. You realize that Raquel must have left while you were asleep. However, she seems to have left you a note. She picks it up and read. You pick it up and read it. Kits, shit's going down. Left to go help Gabriel. Stay safe. I love you. R. She even drew a little heart and a cat face at the end. You hear Blue start meowing in her basket of clothes beside the door as she slowly wakes up. Then suddenly your ear catches the sound of footsteps. You freeze in place as you try to focus listening. You hear the sound of footsteps, multiple footsteps, growing louder and louder as they get closer to your bedroom. Quick, you have to pick up your weapon. Grab the two pistols or a machine gun. No. Let's go Boondock Saint style. Grab the shooty shooty bang bang and smile. You hold shooty shooty bang bang and smile firmly in your hands as you hear the footsteps finally stopping as they reach toward the bedroom. An eerily long silence fills the room. You hear a slight hushing from beyond the door. Then you hear metal clanking. You have no idea who they might be. One thing you do know is that you could always hide, or maybe shoot through the door, or wait for them to open the door and see who it is. Blue Star gets up from her basket of clothes and hops down to the floor, running quietly to the closet and hiding in it. You see the door handle moving. Quick, do something. Pump him full of lead. Shoot the door. Click. You unload your weapons at the door, littering it with bullet holes, and you hear what sounds like another source of gunfire coming from the door. Your weapon runs dry and silence pours back into the room. You decide to reload your weapon, detach the empty magazines, pull out a fresh one, and jam it into the gun and chamber around. Your door slowly creeps open as a body pushes against it before falling to the floor dead. Through the door in its doorway, you see around 8 people dead on the ground, all wearing black ski masks and mismatched uniforms and leather jackets, sweaters and tracksuits carrying rifles, submachine guns, and shotguns. Did you just kill everyone behind the door? You slowly walk up to the pile of dead bodies and you hear a slight moan from one of them. Then a loud bang erupts, followed by the explosion of the poor corpse's head. You peek around the corner and you peek around the corner of your now bullet-ridden door, and you see Rook standing in the doorway of your apartment with his MP7. He raises it in front of his face and says, Deus ex machina, muchachos. He blows the smoke coming out from the barrel away. He realizes that you're not wearing anything beside your underwear and says with a smirk, Oh, I didn't realize I was interrupting something. Mind if I join? He leans against the doorway, pulling what appears to be a single rose out of nowhere, then places it between his teeth. Suddenly, the door to Mouse's room springs open and you see Mouse rush out, P226 pistol at the ready. He looks around and, after realizing the immediate threat's gone, he sighs and asks, I heard shooting. Oh, shoot, I forgot he's British. I heard shooting. What's going on? He wipes the sleep away from his eyes. Gabriel called. I told him I was in the middle of meditating. Then he told me it's important. Rook says, emphasizing the word meditating. What did he say? He told me he found out what the outfit and the cartels were trying to do. They were trying to track you down and kill you. Rook gestures to the pile of dead bodies in front of you. It seems they succeeded at the first part, but failed at the second, Mouse says. So far, at least. Rook says, Well, that's not good. You might want to get dressed. More are coming.
Saw their SUVs arriving as I came up. Unless you want to go fight out the outfit in your underwear. Which I'm totally up for.
He chuckles as he reloads his MP5. You go to your closet and pick out some clothes. Then you hear Rook calling from the other room.
Oh, and Pennywise said that you should bring your suit and mask.
You grab your Archangel uniform and begin putting it on. A couple of minutes later, you grab the rest of your weapons and meet Rook as he waits on your doorstep. Mouse in his suit and blue tie walks up behind you and asks,
Where's Gabriel and the rest? Pennywise and the rest are at the circus on their way to the mill as we speak,
Rook says, peeking around the corner in the hallway, MP7 held at the ready. You holster your shooty bang bang and smile, and baton before holding Ronald Reagan at the ready as you and Rook walk out into the hallway. The three of you make your way to the alcove in the hallway where the elevators are. Rook walks up and pushes the button. You look at the indicator above the door and you see the elevators coming from the library. Rook races his MP7 at the door, waiting. Rook also raises his P226. What weapon are you using? The Ronald Reagan, baby. The atmosphere tenses while waiting for the elevator, number after number, floor after floor, waiting for that ting. But instead you hear a small buzzing sound from behind you.
Damn it.
Rook pulls out his phone, which is vibrating. He picks up the call and puts his phone to the ear.
Sup, Pennywise? Yes, I'm with him now. You want me to come help you out? Okay, I'll see you there. Stay safe.
Rook hangs up and dials another number. Everything alright?
The cartel has just attacked Raquel's safe house, Rook says. He told me to take you all to the mill as soon as I can.
He says
he'll meet us there.
Puts the phone to his ear.
Hey, Bishop, we're coming Ting!
The elevator door opens, revealing 5 people inside, all wearing ski masks and a mishmash of suits, leather jackets, and coats, carrying all kinds of firearms.
Oh, shit!
Rook puts away his phone and raises MP7 at them, but one of them quickly rushes forward and catches it as it fires, unloading a few rounds beside the assailant, causing plumes of smoke to rise from the carpeted floor. 2 things happen at this point. Rook immediately uses the momentum of the assailant to push him to the side, causing him to crash into the wall. But suddenly a second assailant from the elevator jumps out and wraps his arms around Rook's neck, to which Rook quickly reacts by kicking the man's knees, cracking his kneecap and causing him to topple to the left as he cries out in pain and lets go of Rook's neck. Rook turns around and grabs the man's head and pulls him down just as he brings his knee to the man's face, and with a loud crack, the man falls to the floor of the elevator. But then, bang bang! You see 2 plumes of smoke erupt from Rook's vest as a handgun pokes out of the elevator and fires at him. Rook reels back in pain as the third assailant leaps over the second assailant's body and closes in on Rook, raising the pistol to his head. Rook quickly catches the pistol and pulls it to the side as he throws a quick jab at the third assailant's face. As the man reels back, disoriented, Rook focuses on disarming him and successfully does so. He raises the pistol at the third assailant, who's still dazed, and bang! He shoots him in the center of his forehead. Then he lowers his aim at the second assailant on the floor and bang! Rook shoots him in the back of the head for good measure. Then Rook hears the first assailant behind him trying to get up after slamming headfirst into the wall. Rook quickly turns around and bang! He shoots the assailant in the back of the head, and the body drops dead. He holds the poles with the pistol and whispers, "Hat trick!" As this is happening in the background, the 2 last attackers rush out of the elevator. One of them, a woman with a balaclava covering nearly the entirety of her face, immediately raises her AK-74U at you. She's far enough away that you'd have to rush at her to reach her. Quick, do something. Quick, use the environment. Quickly look around, getting your bearings, and instinctively try to react using your surroundings. There's a metal trash can to your right, a painting on the wall, and a fire alarm to your left. Okay, awesome. You quickly grab the trash can and swing it in front of you. With a loud ding, You slam it into your assailant's assault rifle, causing it to fly off to the side. You turn and see the man behind her already has his pistol raised. You quickly swing the trash can again, not only hitting his pistol as he fires, causing him to miss, but you push as hard as you can against it, shoving the man back into the elevator as the door closes. The trash can gets stuck between the doors, and the woman beside you pulls out her pistol to try and shoot you. But you quickly pull the trash can lid off and slam her in the face with it, making her crash into the painting. She grunts in pain as her back hits the frame on the painting, causing it to tilt to one side. And as the elevator door opens again, you put the lid back on the trash can and swing it towards her, and with another cartoony ding, you smash the aluminum can across her face, knocking her out cold. The man you pushed into the elevator rushes back out and tries to tackle you. Quickly open the top of the trash can and put it in front of you. His head goes straight into the trash can, and you quickly push him to the ground before kicking the trash can with the man's head inside. You hear a loud thud, followed by a painful sting across your foot, and the man falls unconscious. You stand there in front of the elevator with two unconscious bodies, one of them with a trash can over his head, and three dead ones, two of them in the elevator. A moment of peace, calming silence fills the hallway. Finally catch your breath when ding! Your heart jumps as the other elevator door slides open, revealing a person in his pajamas and holding a Ruger S79 pistol. You refrain from raising your Ronald Reagan at him as you recognize who it is. It's the apartment building's receptionist. With a confused look, he peeks out of the elevator. When he sees the dead bodies, he sighs and says, "Boy, you sure did some work. I'll call Greg's cleanup service." He pulls out his phone. "Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. Tell him it's on Gabriel's tab. And I don't think they..." He points to you and Mouse. "We'll be checking back in for a while." "All right." I saw a couple SUVs arriving out through the CCTVs. Y'all planning on ditching the place?" Jimmy asks Rook. Rook nods and he says, "Yeah, we're meeting up with Gabriel." "All right then, good luck," Jimmy says as he puts his phone to his ear and walks over to the bodies. "Hello, Greg?" "Yeah, sorry to wake you up, but could you send some cleaners over?" "Yeah, five, maybe more." He looks back at you and Rook, still talking on the phone. "Definitely more incoming. Area's hot as of right now. Might want to wait a while." Rook looks at Jimmy as he reloads his SMG. "I almost shot you, by the way. Gabriel hadn't told me you were on his payroll." Jimmy seems to ignore him as he listens through the phone. "Want me to make sure they're dead?" he says into the phone. Then he walks over to the bodies. He shoots the two unconscious bodies in the head, one of them through the trash can, and says, "Yeah, they're dead." Rook chuckles as he walks into the elevator Jimmy walked out of. He looks to the rest of you and gestures for you to come in, saying, "Come on, let's see what else the outfit's gonna throw at us." You walk into the elevator along with Mouse and the door closes. Inside the elevator, as it descends on the lobby, Rook taps his ear and says, "E, how's the lobby looking? I'm coming down." He pauses and looks to you as he pulls something out of his jacket from under his body armor. "Taco?" he says as he pulls out a wrapped taco. Mouse leans in and says, Ooh, can I have one?" "Yeah, sure, I got plenty." He gives one to Mouse. Mouse grabs it and unwraps it, takes a single bite, then moans in satisfaction. This is good." "Thank you, made it myself just recently." Rook says proudly as he takes out another beef taco and hands it to you. "Yeah, take the taco." Take the taco, unwrap it, then bite into it. It's very good. Rook pulls out another taco, one that appears to have been crushed by what was possibly a bullet. He unwraps it and takes a bite anyway. All of you eat your taco in delicious silence for a few moments. Rook stops to look at you. "Did bring your keys to the SUV, right?" You search your pockets and you feel metal keys tucked safely inside your suit. You look to Rook and give him a reassuring nod.
Okay,
He says as he finishes his taco and prepares his MP7.
Bishop's downstairs, but he hasn't answered my call yet, so I'm assuming the worst.
Flicks his safety off, then pulls out his red balaclava and puts it on. Mouse finishes his own taco and looks at you nervously, trying his best to stick to the wall of the elevator, hoping not to get in the line of fire. He raises his pistol, flicking the safety off. Then he pulls out his red velvet mask and puts it on. Ronald Ray gun. Finish your own taco and put it away. You raise your Ronald Ray gun, gripping it tight, ready for a fight. You pull out your bloody white mask with a broken heart and stare at it. You're reminded of the dream you just had, and your own body shivers a bit in recalling the subconscious memory. Shrug it away and place the mask snugly against your face. You steel your nerves, ready to face whatever lies beyond the door. When ding! The elevator door opens, revealing the body of a man in black and heavy tactical body armor, over a pink short khakis, wearing a dark blue balaclava, sitting behind the receptionist's desk and facing away from you. Is he alive? Whoops, sorry. Is he alive? He asked, and you recognize the voice.
Yeah, Bishop, he's alive. What were you doing? I called you a few minutes ago.
Rook says, lowering his MP7 as he walks out of the elevator. You walk over to Bishop and see that he has an M60 with a bipod resting on the receptionist's desk, aiming at the front entrance. I was listening to some music, he says as he pulls up his mask and takes out a pair of earbuds. You hear classical music coming out of it. Plus, your voice was annoying me. And why do you smell like tacos? He sniffs the air.
I just had one. Have you seen activity outside?
Rook asks. Two were trying to get in, Bishop says.
Where are they now?
Rook asks, looking towards the front entrance, which is littered with bullet holes and shattered windows. One of them's taking cover behind the pillar on the right. The other one's dead, Bishop says casually, nodding to the pillar. Rook looks at the pillar to the right of the main entrance and says,
Oye tú, are you hit?
There's a moment of dead silence, followed by a shuffling sound from behind the pillar.
I know you're there, Chico. Just tell me, are you hit?
Rook shouts again. There's a few seconds with no reply. Then he shouts back nervously, No. Rook chuckles and looks at Bishop.
You gotta work on your aim.
Then he looks back at the pillar and shouts,
Come out, we won't kill you.
The man behind the pillar doesn't seem to trust Rook at all, and he continues to hide behind the pillar in silence. Rook sighs and says,
Look, I know I'm not just talking to a pillar here. Either I'm coming over there and beating your ass to death with my partner's machine gun, or you come out alive.
After a few seconds of silence, followed by a nervous shuffle from behind the pillar, as the man slowly peeks out. He looks around the room and Rook gestures for him to come over. He moves out from behind the pillar and you can see that his jeans are wet between his legs with both yellow and brown stains. Oh god.
Oh, Dios mío, don't come any closer,
Rook says, gesturing for him to stop. Your nose twitches and your stomach rumbles as you suddenly feel the urge to puke. You can smell the horrible stench of feces from where you are. The man stops and nervously looks back and forth between you, Rook, and Bishop. I'm really sorry. I didn't want to be here.
It's all right. Just stay where you are,
Rook says, covering his mouth as he coughs into his hand.
Man, I can smell the shit from here.
How many are there outside? Bishop asks, pointing his machine gun at the man. Well, you said you ain't gonna kill me, the man says, running back behind the pillar.
Relax, we won't,
Rook says, tapping Bishop on the shoulder.
Give the man a break. He just pissed and shot himself.
Bishop points the machine gun away and says, Answer my question. Man looks back at the shattered window of the front entrance and says,
There were about 30 of us outside. Seriously, you're as paranoid as the corp, Rook says as he stares out the front window. He puts his hand on his waist, thinking as he looks around the lobby. We can't go out there without getting turned into Swiss cheese, and we can't stay here. He looks to Bishop. How about we deal with the immediate problem first? Bishop gestures to the man peeking around the pillar. Smells like he just took a bath in a sewer. Rook stares at the man, then looks at you. What should we do with him? Mouse covers his nose and mouth as he says in a nasally voice. We shouldn't send him to the bathroom. Send him to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom and stay there until you hear the shooting stop. Rook shouts as the man nervously and shamefully stumbles over to the bathroom, leaving a wet yellow trail behind him. Rook sighs and looks away. Bishop looks at him and says, We should get going. Rook nods and says, Oh, whoops. We should get going. Rook nods and says, Bishop, let's go to the parking lot. Rook readies his MP7 as Bishop grabs his M60 and carries it, cradling it like a baby. You follow them with Mouse behind you. Wait, Mouse says. Everyone stops and looks at Mouse. Where's Blue Star? Mouse says frantically. Oh no. Must have left her back in the closet. She's back upstairs. Don't worry, if Jimmy finds her, he'll most likely send her to the mill or Greg. Rook says. Now come on, we don't have much time. He gestures for everyone to hurry up. The group moves to the back of the lobby, which is where the stairs are that lead down to the basement parking lot. You all make your way downstairs with Rook and Bishop in front. Rook stops in front of the door leading into the parking lot, MP7 at the ready as he hums the theme song from Mission Impossible. There's a theme song for Mission Impossible? What? Let me look it up. Mission Impossible theme song. I know the one for James Bond, but I didn't know Mission. Which one is Mission Impossible? I'm sorry, give me a sec. Oh, that's right. Dun 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 na 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 na. Okay, either way. Shut up and focus, Bishop whispers. Rick ignores him as he opens the door, then crouches down into a super agent stance, looking around the basement dramatically. You look around, too, and you see nothing but a few cars. Rick continues his super agent crouch from cover to cover behind the cars. Bishop sighs, and he looks around cautiously before walking out with his M60. Follow Rook's lead, baby. Come on. Secret agent man, secret agent man. Follow Rook's lead, dramatically covering down from one car before moving on to the other. Ronald Reagan, ready for action. You hear Bishop sigh in annoyance, then he mutters, I'm working with children. You arrive at the corner that leads to where you usually park your SUV, and as Rook crouches like an action hero ready to jump out, he peeks around the corner whispering, 6 tacos hanging out by our van. You mean tangos? Bishop asks. No, I mean tacos. The tacos I had in the van. Rook says. Curiously, you decide to peek out of the corner with Rook. Sure enough, there are 6 outfit soldiers casually eating tacos in front of a taco van with their assault rifles by their side. Far down the parking lot past them, you see your parked SUV with no one guarding it. Bishop sighs again and shakes his head. When did you even have time to make those tacos? He asked Rook. Sorry, I thought I had a sneeze coming on. I was hungry, okay? Don't judge me. Rook whispers, chambering around in his MP7. I also thought our friend here might need something to eat. He looks at you and winks. Why did you make 6 more? They were for Gabriel, Michael, Raquel, and the rest. Here's hoping there's some left, Rook says, and then he creeps around the corner, crouching behind one of the cars out of view. Bishop crouches down and comes behind Rook with his M60. We need to flank them if we don't want to risk. We need to flank them if we don't want to risk hitting our own van. You take the right and I'll take the left, Rook says, reaching behind him and pulling out an ornate stiletto dagger he was hiding under his jacket. What weapon are we using? The Ronald Reagan, of course, our baby. Bishop flips the safety of his M60 and says, try and make it quick. I hate being a bullet sponge. Rook looks to you and whispers, stay here and wait until the screaming stops. He sneaks off into the shadows, moving from car to car as he flanks to the left, disappearing into the darkness. Bishop sighs and simply gets up from behind the car and casually walks over to the outfit soldiers with the M60 on his hip. He whistles loudly to them. The soldiers are startled by the whistle, and most of them drop their tacos and turn to Bishop. Assault rifles drawn as he walks forward. Oh shit, it's him, one of them says. Hey, Bishop, how are you doing, man? One of them asks, nervously pointing his rifle at Bishop. They all seem reluctant to aim their rifles at him. Doing good. How's the outfit been? Bishop asked casually. We've been trying to find you, Bishop, one of them says, backing away from Bishop as Bishop continues to walk cautiously towards them. They have their weapons out drawn, some of them aimed at Bishop, but two of them have their weapons pointed at the ground as they take a few steps back cautiously. Where's Rook? The soldier asks, looking around nervously. Bishop towers over them with his muscular build and posture, combined with his heavy body armor. He's a menacing figure, even in the pink shirt and khaki shorts. He's off somewhere slitting some throats, he says in an intimidating voice as he flanks them at an angle that won't hit the taco man. One of them steels herself as she points her AK-47 at Bishop's chest, shouting, Die, you son of a bitch! Plumes of smoke erupt from his chest, but Bishop takes it like it's nothing as he fires back with his M60. Bang, bang, bang! A crescendo of firepower sprays across against the outfit soldiers, killing one of them with a headshot, sending another flying back to the ground, wounded, while the others scatter behind the cover of the other cars. One of them takes cover behind the taco van, and you see the glint of a stiletto dagger suddenly reach out from the darkness behind him, plunging into the side of his neck and cutting it wide open. A hand reaching out from behind him and pulls the dead body behind the van. None of the other outfit soldiers saw it. God, I feel like I have to sneeze. It's been going on for like a couple minutes. Damn. Ah. Okay. Bishop's barrage of machine gun fire suppresses them, keeping them behind cover as a dark, blurry figure with a streak of red and black dashes out from cover to cover at them. The blurry figure pounces on one of the outfit soldiers, and you see the shining blur of the dagger slicing across their neck, letting out a gargled scream as the figure pounces back off. You know it's Rook, but he's moving faster, so fast you can barely make him out in the darkness. One of them notices the figure and quickly turns to it and about to blindly fire at it. You have a clear line of sight at him. He has his back to you. Quick, do something. Fire, Ronald Ray gun. You already have your Ronald Ray gun ready. You raise to aim at the leg. You aim down the scope of your rifle and pull the trigger. Bang, bang! Your weapon fires and you see a spurt of blood burst out from the back of the soldier's thigh. He collapses to the ground as he cries out in pain. As he falls with a blindingly quick move with the stiletto, Rook plunges the blade straight through the soldier's neck, then pulls back before plunging it back in through the soldier's eye socket and out of the back of his skull. The soldier's body falls limp as Rook pulls the stiletto out of his eye socket. Rook looks at you and gives you a thumbs up as he wipes the blood off his stiletto using the dead soldier's leather jacket. The last soldier crouching behind the car looks at Rook in surprise, previously unaware of his presence. He quickly raises his AR-15 at him, but before he can fire, bang, bang, bang! A hail of gunfire flies over Rook's head and shatters the window of the car he's taking cover behind. The bullet pierces through like hot knives through toilet papers. That last outfit soldier falls on his side, blood pooling out around his head from a bullet wound above his ear. Rook quickly covers his head as Bishop stops firing. Rook jumps out of cover from behind the car and taps his head angrily at Bishop. You almost hit me! I'm sorry. I'll try to hit you next time, Bishop says as he reloads his machine gun. Just then, the back of the taco van bursts open and another outfit soldier rushes out with a gigantic kitchen knife. She shouts a war cry as she rushes towards Bishop. She pounces as Bishop turns around just in time to see her lunging at him. They don't have a clear line of sight, but the soldier plunges her knife into the seam of Bishop's body armor at his shoulder. Ah, that was not nice, Bishop says as he simply pushes the woman off of him. The soldier falls on her back as Bishop grunts in pain and pulls the kitchen knife from his shoulder. Why'd you even get this? Bishop asks as he stares at the long, bloody kitchen knife. The soldier quickly squirms away and tries to run for one of her colleague's guns, but Bishop reels back and throws a giant kitchen knife back at her. The knife plants itself in the back of the soldier's skull. She falls to the floor, lifeless, her body sliding across the paved parking lot and smearing a trail of blood before coming to a stop. Great! How am I gonna cut things for my tacos now? Rook walks around the car over to Bishop. You okay? I'm fine, Bishop says emotionally as he pulls a bandage out of his vest. Mouse looks around the parking lot, making sure the coast is clear before walking out of cover towards Bishop. Yeah, let me help, he says as he grabs the bandage and begins pulling out Bishop's vest. Oh, man. God. Sorry. Bishop stares at Mouse, then shrugs as he lets him pull apart his body armor. Rook looks at you and says, All right, close is clear. You get to your SUV. Bishop and I will get to our van. Rook walks over to the back of the taco van and takes a look inside. Oh my God. He dramatically raises his arms in desperation, then falls to his knees behind the taco van. You maniacs! He slams his fist down in the back of the van. You ate them all! Bishop stares at his colleague, sighing. Damn you! He slams his fist once more. Damn you all to hell! What? Bishop asks. They ate all our tacos! Rook sobs dramatically, planting his head on the back of the van's door. Bishop looks at you and says, Leave us. He'll need some time to mourn. He walks over to Rook and puts his hand on his partner's shoulder. Walk over and put my hand on Rook's shoulder too. Walk over to Rook and set your hand on his other shoulder. Rook dramatically sobs in sorrow as he turns to you. Thank you. Please go on without me. I shall meet you at the mill. You nod and leave them be. Just as you're about to head out to your SUV, you hear a moan from behind you. You turn and see one of the outfit soldiers tossing and turning on the floor. Seems to have managed to survive the onslaught. Oh, look! A survivor! Rook says sarcastically as he pulls out his stiletto. He stands up and walks over to the survivor. Oh, God, sorry. Let me take a drab of water because I'm feeling a little lightheaded. Alright, awesome possum. Thank you. Alright. Okay. Oh, look, a survivor, Rook says sarcastically as he pulls out his stiletto. He stands up and walks over to the survivor. Bishop stabs him with a hand on his shoulder. No, Gabriel might have an aid for him, he tells his partner. No, he massacred all those innocent tacos. He must die, Rook says, shrugging off Bishop's hand and angrily marching over to the barely conscious soldier. You can tell he's acting. If he really must die, then let it be at Gabriel's hands, Bishop says. Rook sighs and sheathes his blade. Very well. He looks to you, breaking character as he says, You go on ahead. We'll catch up. Bishop and Rook walk over to the surviving outfit soldier, pull him to his feet, and drag him to the back of the taco van. Yeah. Man. Sorry, I'm just a little out of it. I don't know what's up, man. Maybe this. Let me get to the mill and then we'll call it for today. I'm sorry for this being short, but whatever reason, I'm just not feeling hot right now. Well, I mean, I'm feeling hot, sorry. Bishop and Rook walk over to the surviving outfit soldier, pull him to his feet, and drag him to the back of the taco van. You turn away and continue to your SUV with Mouse behind you. You arrive at your SUV and get in, then make your way out of the parking lot. As the SUV exits the parking lot, you spot a few outfit soldiers standing by their vehicles in front of the apartment building. They turn and spot you, and when they do, they point at you and shout, Oh shit, there they are, let's go! They pour back into their cars. You slam into first gear as you drift around the corner, crashing through the gate as the exit. Cars finally hit the main road pavement as you put it into second gear, then third, fourth, and so on as you speed away from the apartment building. In the distance behind you, you see a couple of headlights chasing you. They're coming closer. You should probably prepare yourself. What weapon are you using? The Ronald Ray gun, baby. You prepare your Ronald Ray gun as the headlights become larger and larger as you hear the engine of the SUV closing in. To your surprise, one of them's a pickup truck with a PKP machine gun mounted on top. Before you can do anything, the machine gunner opens fire and the bullets riddle the back of your SUV. The bullets pierce through the window and you feel something hit the left side of your thigh. You cry out in pain as you hold it tightly. You try your best to focus on driving. Quickly, you have to do something. Swerve into an alleyway. Let's see if our driving skill's good enough. You slam the steering wheel to the left and pull the handbrake, causing the car to drift to the side as you try to swerve into an alley. Okay, good enough. You manage to squeeze the SUV into the alleyway. You hear a loud crash behind you as the pickup truck hits the wall of the alleyway. You speed away and try to find a way to get to the mill. Whew, that was close. The rest of the ride's quiet, only to be followed by a light rain that gradually turns heavy as you approach the mill. You turn on the windshield wipers to see better as the rain gets heavier and heavier. You suddenly realize something. You're not wearing your blue sapphire necklace. Remember taking it off before you went to sleep. Shit, you must have left it at your safe house. Oh, there's no going back for it now. It takes you quite a while, but eventually you arrive at the mill. As you approach the front gate, Mouse hops out and unlocks the chain for you, then gets back in. As you come up to the loading bay, you spot a whole array of different cars parked outside. Usually the SUV would get parked in the loading bay, but you don't see it pass through. That's odd. What's going on? Mouse asks as he parked the SUV behind one of the cars parked outside the loading bay, out in the rain. As you're about to get out, your legs tense up and you grunt in pain as you realize that you're still hurt. You try to take it slow. Alright, that's where we'll stop it, arriving just at the mill. Sorry, I know it's a little even shorter than usual, but I don't know, I'm a little feel off, man. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, my apologies. I know you guys were probably expecting more. Uh, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll try to make tomorrow a longer episode. I'm sorry, just not feeling so hot right now. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll probably be better by then. I don't know why it's hitting me right now. Pretty lame, honestly. Oh well. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the reading for today. I can't. What episode are we on with this anyway? I think I put 14, but I feel like feel like I did it wrong. Oh no, we really. Jesus. How long did the other one take? Man. I don't think it took this long. Yeah, Demon's Recollect took 6 episodes. To be fair, I think I was reading a little bit longer. Oh well. Is that one of the first things we did on this channel? Yeah, kind of. Not really. Alright, I want to thank you guys for coming out and hanging out. I appreciate you every single day. Every time you guys are here, it's always a pleasure to have someone listening in. Uh, yeah, I hope you guys have a great and awesome rest of your day. I will be better by tomorrow. If anything, if I do end up feeling better tonight, maybe I'll sneak in a couple, like an hour of Vampire or something. All right, thank you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay frosty, and I'll catch you on the other side of the day. Adios, amigos. Oh, Christ.